This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Well, BMW just dodged a bullet. The environmental group, Environmental Action Germany, filed a lawsuit against BMW trying to force it to stop selling combustion engine vehicles by 2030. The environmentalists argued that people's right to property, health, and life were being threatened by BMW producing vehicles that emit greenhouse gases. But a German court rejected the lawsuit and said the automaker was not encroaching on their rights. The environmental group plans to appeal the decision. Last year, a similar lawsuit against Mercedes was also thrown out by a German court. But we expect to see more of this kind of legal action, and not just in Germany. And it's not just environmentalists who say the auto industry is dragging its feet when it comes to meeting climate goals. Polestar and Rivian say the same thing. The two EV makers commissioned a study by the consulting firm Kearney, and it found that the industry will miss the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's goal to stay below a 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature increase by 2050. And it will go over that goal by at least 75%. The IPCC says that all greenhouse gas emissions need to be reduced 43% by 2030, but the auto industry won't even meet that until 2035. It says the industry can get back on track by doing three things: speed up the transition to electric cars, increase renewable energy and power grids, and it needs to reduce greenhouse gas emissions up and down its supply chains. The auto industry is in a headlong rush to make EVs, but can it really get all the raw materials and minerals it needs to make them? A new report from the investment firm UP Partners does not paint a pretty picture. It says demand may not rocket up like some people think, but even more, EV production will fall far short. According to its research, EV battery demand will be 10 times higher or more by 2030, but supply won't be able to keep up, and that means higher prices for electric vehicles. On top of tight supplies and high prices, a lack of a charging infrastructure and an overloaded grid will turn people off to EVs, and that will further hurt production. However, UP Partners does offer a way out of its doom and gloom forecast, and that's if the government and auto industry come together to fix these issues.
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.
Mercedes revealed the new version of the electric Sprinter, and it comes in two body sizes and lengths and offers three battery sizes: 56, 81, or 113 kilowatt hours. And the batteries are LFP, or lithium iron phosphate. It has a range of up to 400 kilometers, or just under 250 miles, based on the WLTP test cycle. One e-axle in two outputs is available, 100 and 150 kilowatts. The new e-Sprinter is designed in three modules to boost synergies in production and economies of scale. The front module includes all the high voltage components and can be combined with all e-Sprinter variants, regardless of wheelbase or battery size. The module for the battery is located in the underbody to increase space, and the rear module features the e-axle with an electric motor. Mercedes is also expanding production of the e-Sprinter. It's currently made in Dusseldorf, and in the future will be built in another factory in Germany, as well as Mercedes' plant in Charleston, South Carolina. The market launch of the new e-Sprinter will start in the US and Canada in the second half of this year, and will launch in Europe by the end of 2023. Ford calls the Mustang Dark Horse, quote, the pinnacle of 5-liter V8 performance. So it said it had to pick materials, colors, patterns, and finishes that match its track-focused look and style. Its most striking feature is an anodized blue titanium shift knob, which is hollow in the middle so it doesn't get as hot on a sunny day. Or there's anodized silver paddle shifters for customers who want the automatic transmission. The Dark Horse also gets its own unique blue stitching and material surfacing, a flat bottom and suede wrap steering wheel, and optional Recaro seats with blue side bolstering. Sales in the US kick off this summer. BMW revealed the new X5 and X6. In our opinion, they look more upscale with smoothed out body surfacing and a subdued version of its twin kidney grille. Under the hood are updated 6 and 8 cylinder engines, which all come with some sort of electrification. The turbocharged inline 6-cylinder produces 375 horsepower, which is 40 more than before, and is paired with 48-volt mild hybrid or plug-in hybrid technology. The X5 plug-in also features a 194 horsepower electric motor, which is 83 more than the previous version, and a nearly 25% larger battery pack with 25.7 kilowatt hours of usable space that provides an estimated 40 miles of range. The new V8 for M models is a turbocharged 4.4-liter unit that makes 523 horsepower, enough for a 0 to 60 time of about 4.2 seconds. The interior features a number of upgrades as well, but it's highlighted by 2 large screens brought together into one giant curved display. Production of both the X5 and X6 kicks off this April. The X5 starting price is between roughly $66,000 and a little over $90,000, while the X6 starts at about $75,000 and goes up to $94,500.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
A little over a year ago, EV startups were racking up massive stock market gains. Today, they're all struggling to meet production and the value of their stocks has plummeted. Too many of them tried to grow too fast. That's why we're impressed with the Shyft group, which is going into production with Class 3, 4, and 5 electric vans called Blue Arc. Instead of taking a build it and they will come approach, like all the other startups are doing, Shyft first got orders for its vans and then got ready to build them. The investment in its plant is small, only $16 million, so it should be profitable almost immediately. That plant will make 3,000 vans a year, and Shyft already has orders for 2,000 of them. Small numbers to be sure, but start small, move fast, and then grow big is a strategy that we think will win out in the long run. Well, here's an interesting side effect of higher interest rates that we weren't aware of. A record number of car buyers are now paying cash to buy a new car. Pre-COVID, about 13% of car buyers paid cash for a car, but now that's up to 21%. That means about 3 million people will pay cash for their car in the US market this year. That's according to Charlie Chesbrough, the senior economist at Cox Automotive. He says that as interest rates on car loans hit 8 to 9%, a lot of people decided they could save a lot of money by paying cash instead of taking out a loan. Now keep in mind, the average car today costs about $50,000, so that's a lot of cash to lay out. Sky-high prices have forced a lot of households out of the new car market, so the ones that are left are the higher income people. Charlie Chesbrough dropped that gem on Autoline After Hours last week, and you can watch that entire episode on our website or YouTube channel. And speaking of After Hours, tomorrow's show is going to be all about China's EV Juggernaut and its goal of global domination. Right now, China seems to have an insurmountable lead, and despite efforts like the US's Inflation Reduction Act, China's EV dominance is only growing. And we've got two China experts coming on the show tomorrow. Tu Li is with Sino Auto Insights, and Michael Dunn is the head of ZozoGo. And they say the West better wake up to the threat that it faces. So, join John and Gary when the action gets going tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Scheffler, we pioneer motion.